It's late April, I'm in 5th grade, and I'm about to depart to middle school. The time to where all the elementary schools come into one place and meet. So one last hurrah for my elementary school, Van Buren, was to have a play. Our play was about Elvis Presley. And, before we even started going and setting up and rehearsing for the play, I always thought, this is gonna be stupid. I was a kid that ran around all the time, was playing sports. But I'll tell you what, the second I stepped onto that stage, I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to be part of the play, and I honestly wanted to be Elvis. So I worked my tail off, and you know what, I got the spot as being Elvis. And so I did all the rehearsals, and then came the big night. I was so excited and so proud of myself, and my mom didn't feel the same amount of pride, and she wasn't as proud as I was, but she's still ecstatic for me. And I went through the play and I felt amazing with all the lights, all the people watching. It just felt amazing. And then afterwards I told my mom, when I get to middle school, I think I want to do choir or theater. And she just said, no, you're not that type of kid. You're not like that. You need to stick with baseball and football. And right then and there, I realized that my whole entire childhood was about to be structured to what they want. Leading up until I graduated from high school, I was going to have to play sports and just do well in school. That's it. That's all I could do. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. About how we are just now starting to structure our own lives and do what we want. Now in my life, I paint, I draw, take pictures, and I honestly believe I would have been that person way back then. If my parents would have allowed it and not forced me to be in sports and to structure my life how they wanted me to be, how they thought was best for me. How do they know what's best for me if they're not me? And I think it comes along with that I was nothing like I was in high school. And that's exactly right. A lot of us aren't, because our lives were structured in high school and growing up, and now we have that freedom to do whatsoever. However, though, there's honestly a lot of people that I see falling down the wrong path when they start to be able to structure their own lives. We're escaping from being robots and the same. But honestly, back to those people that can frighten us and fall down the wrong path. We have seen people who are straight A students in high school, the ones who are always in clubs, and you thought, hoorah, good for you, man. And you're kind of just despise them a little bit. But now, in college, they're drinking all the time, they're out partying. You even see sometimes that they might have to be a 5th year, and you're like, that person's gonna be a 5th year? What the hell? They were always in clubs, always doing well. And I think that's because they now don't have to please their parents, not feel that pressure of always being that great student, because, we're not in our hometowns anymore. We're basically minorities in this huge college that wherever we go to. But that's great for them, not having to feel that pressure or not have to please their parents or structure their lives around whatever their parents want. But they're honestly hurting themselves. And I understand that, yeah, college is supposed to be the most fun times of our life, but this is also mentally where we are supposed to grow the most and figure ourselves out. And sure, you can delay that process of that and just be like, what, after college, I'm going to have all my fun now before I start my real job. Cool, man, but think about this. You're missing all the opportunities that you have as a student that you won't have once you graduate. You're on your own. Right now is the best time in your life to structure your life, find out what you want. You start taking advantage of being a student and all the opportunities that your school brings. Now I get you maybe thinking, great, this kid just shit on my dream. Just shit on my life, and then I don't know anything about myself. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying I want to help you recognize who you are and who you can be. And I think there's 3 easy steps that can help you start to realize yourself. The first one is embrace your failure. Learning is not a straight line. Yes, there's obviously ups to learning, but there's also downs. And those downs are what we need to embrace the most, because that is where the most growth and learning ability comes from. You know, I want to tell you a story about me going to college again. I went in high school, good grades were easy to obtain, you know, show up, minimal effort, boom, you got a B. A B, cool. But I quickly learned in college, especially business classes, that is not necessarily true. So I go into Econ 201. There's minimal math. Yeah, there's some math in it. You know, I aced that. Easy, boom, math, done. But those terms screwed me. So, you know, I started to think, all right, I'm gonna look at my strengths and my weaknesses, where I failed at and where I excelled at. I excelled at math, my strength. And my weakness, terms. So I incorporated my strength, which was math, and I realized the math, you know how I do so well, is because I write it down. So then I'm like, okay, what if I use my strength with my weakness? So I started writing down the terms, just like I did with the math, which was my strength. And surprisingly enough, on the next exam, that weakness turned into a strength. You know, my grades skyrocketed. It was amazing how well I did. And, you know, you can interpret this two ways, where it says fail to see. You can either say, all right, I failed to see, or you can fail to see. To see your strengths and your weaknesses and embrace that and overpower it and overcome it. Secondly, I believe you need to get uncomfortable. You know, if you're one of those people that go to college and the only friends you'll ever make in college are the people that you went to high school with, you are not making a good change in your life, and what the hell are you doing? You need to get uncomfortable. You need to embrace being afraid and fear. You need to embrace fear. You know, for me personally, it was honestly taking this class, which is in the minor that I'm in, communication studies. I'm a business major. You know, business classes are so much more different, and if you don't have to take any of those, you're lucky, because look, business classes, you just go to class, you sit there, type notes. There's no back and forth communication. There's no human connection. In my sophomore year, I realized I was missing that, and so I added this minor. And you know, I think you can all tell that I'm not the very most talkative person, and I think it comes a lot with just that of being in the business classes and not being able to really speak my mind. So I guess I embraced that, and now I have a lot more friends. I excel in my business classes when it comes to participation and getting out, knowing people, and, you know, talking to professors. You know, that helped me a lot, because I'm not taught that in business classes, but through this major I was taught to be able to approach people easier, and, you know, now I'm more comfortable with myself, and it's all because I got uncomfortable first. And lastly, you really need to appreciate the little accomplishments you have in life. You know, take pride in those. You know, those things that you appreciate and you take pride in, but no one else really cares. So, you know, those little accomplishments comes a lot more than those big ones. Like, I run every day, and that's my little accomplishment, and I take pride in it. But I'm not going to tell someone that every day. I ran a mile today. That's repetitive, and no one really cares. A mile's a mile. It's not that big, but to me, it's that big. And, you know, but if I go up to someone and say, man, I aced my exam, you know, that exam I have like every 2 months, they're going to be like, wow, good job. But, you know, I don't feel as accomplished as I do running every day, going into that routine of making my body feel better and me feel better. You know, I feel better every day. And all I want to leave you with is just constant happiness is better than chasing happiness. Thank you.